Let us first understand details about this case from my colleague Tanima Biswas, who has tracked this case very closely. Tanima, take us through the details of this case. How and when did the police finalize the charges, and why did the pace of hearings and investigations slow down?
Right. Vasudha, firstly, if we have to talk about how the police actually cracked this case, very interestingly, this case is intertwined with another case which took place with a murder of another young woman almost near the same location where Soumya was murdered. We're talking about the Jigisha Ghosh murder case, which took place actually in 2009, a year after the Soumya Vishwanathan murder case. But till then, Soumya Vishwanathan murder case was being dealt as a blind case by the police. But in 2009, when they managed to nab 4 people initially, and then later on another accused was arrested in the Jigisha case, that is when the police actually found out that the same set of people were working as a gang and had in fact been involved in the Soumya Vishwanathan murder case as well. Because initially they were given to, it seemed like the circumstances of the case where, there were reports of a car actually chasing Soumya Vishwanathan's car. There was a headshot injury, of course. It seemed like there could have been, some sort of heated moment which took place between the inmates of both the cars. But later on, once the police actually arrested the people accused in the Jigisha murder case, they actually figured out that it was a robbery attempt which had gone wrong in the Soumya Vishwanathan murder case as well. And also, very importantly, Vasudha, the fact that all these 5 people were working together as a gang, which is why the stringent Makoka Act was also slapped by the police in this particular case, and following which, of course, that particular act was added later on in the FIR. Now, as far as the prosecution and the entire trial process is concerned, why did it take 15 long years? Why did the family have to wait this long for justice? What we did see was that, as I mentioned, it took a year for them to figure out the people behind this case. 2009, they made the arrests. Later that year, the charge sheet was filed, and the arguments actually started a year after, into 2010. But in 2016, 6 years after the trial process had actually begun, the prosecutor in this particular case changed. And following that, in 2016-17, when the change happened, they actually had another special public prosecutor was appointed, but he was very irregular in attending this case. So much so that Soumya's parents actually had to knock on the doors of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in order to intervene. 2 years later, they did that in 2019. And following that plea made by them, Kejriwal, of course, asked for another public prosecutor to be appointed in this case, in which case the previous public prosecutor was once again brought back to handle the rest of the trial. And we saw that the final arguments actually took place only in September this year. So that actually details how it was a major ordeal for the family to actually wait for this long in order to see this conviction today.
Right. Thank you, Tanima, for taking us through the case and for all these details.